What's up, DFS players? We have the Stanley Cup, we have the NBA Finals, and best of all, I'm bringing you two sharp player props on PrizePicks. If you don't remember, we went on a wicked run in the NHL. We literally won a ton of money, and yesterday we had a rough day, decent day, but Jason Alexander over 2.5 strikeouts didn't cash, so we won 3 out of 4 in this PrizePicks entry. But unfortunately, we lost the Jason Alexander leg. But overall, been a good stretch. So what we're going to be going through is the best sharp, profitable player props that you can get in on for tonight. So for tonight, as well as for the Stanley Cup. So it's an exciting video, and we're going to be discussing PrizePicks strategy and why it's so critical to compare the lines on PrizePicks to those on the sportsbooks. Right? So we can start out with an example from the OddsJam positive EV page, right? So this page will show you mathematically profitable betting picks as well as DFS player props. So if we scroll down, what we can see is here's this player prop, my first prop for the NHL playoffs. I'm sure there will be many more. Enlightening Avs, right? So 2.32% profit margin, you can see. You just look on the bottom row, right? You're going to see it's under the dash mark, so it's on the bottom row. That's the player prop pick that we want to go with, and it's Stamkos. Where is it? And it's Stamkos under half of an assist, right? So him to not have an assist, essentially. 2.32% profit margin, quantified mathematically using real-time odds from Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. And you can see right here, this is a true pricing discrepancy, right? Sportsbooks are pricing the over at like plus 130, and you can get the under at an implied price of minus 137 on PrizePicks when the sportsbooks are pricing this from minus 160 to minus 174. So this is an incredible value player prop on PrizePicks. Now you may be like, hey, how are you getting these odds from PrizePicks, and why does it matter what the sportsbooks have as their odds? So the reason it matters, right, is sportsbooks imply win probabilities for bets based on all the action they're seeing in the market based on their odds, right? That's how they imply win probabilities. So if a sportsbook has an under heavily juiced, that means they think the under is much more likely to hit than the over, right? But on PrizePicks, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you take the overs or the unders. If we go to Stamkos and we go to assists, you can see right here, it doesn't matter if we change this from over to under, they're not going to be changing our payout. They're just going to be giving us plus 200 odds. It doesn't matter if you pick the overs or the unders, which is literally wild. It's wild because you can see right here, on DraftKings, you would be getting, if you bet $160 on the under, you're betting 160 to win 100 in profit. If you bet $160 on the over, you'd be betting 160 to win like $200, right? This is an insane difference in odds. So that means DraftKings, Caesars, Pinnacle, very sharp, efficient betting markets on Pinnacle, right? These sportsbooks are implying the under is much more likely to hit than the over. And we can quantify this mathematically. So the odds on Pinnacle for the under half of an assist, so Stamkos not to have an assist, is minus 174. The odds for the over is plus 128. So the way that sportsbooks make money is they charge the vig. They charge the juice. So what you want to do is find the midpoint of the market, remove the juice with the most important calculator on OddsJam, a no vig calculator. If you're playing on PrizePicks, if you're betting on sports, you need to be on this calculator every single day if you actually want to make money. It's the most important calculator in sports betting, right? Backing out fair odds, true odds, whatever you want to call it. So you put in the market for the over and the under, and this will tell you what the sportsbook is implying the win probability for a bet is. So for Stamkos under half of an assist, the win probability for that bet is 59.15%. 59.15%. So we can go here and we can put in our Stamkos win probability. It's 59.15%, found using the OddsJam positive EV tool and looking for large line discrepancies between PrizePicks and the sportsbooks. And this one is massive, right? So this is absolutely a pick I want to lock in my PrizePicks entry. I'm going to hammer it. So because it's very good. So next we can go to NBA, and the pick I'm going to be going with is Draymond over, what did I want to go with? Now I'm forgetting. Draymond over 6.5 points. Over 6.5 points, which I like. I think Draymond will have a good game back at home. And you can see over 6.5 points is a big line discrepancy. It's a massive line discrepancy, right? Sportsbooks are setting his point total at 7.5, right? Whereas PrizePicks is setting the line at 6.5. So the jump from a 6.5 to a 7.5 point total is pretty big, right? That is not a small jump. So this is an incredible pick that we're going to be able to lock in on PrizePicks. So again, we found this on the low holds tool, so you can look for positive, EV plays, not just on the positive EV page, which will quantify mathematically your edge, your profit margin of a player prop on PrizePicks. This will quantify it mathematically, but you can also use the other tools on OddsJam, and sometimes you'll get lucky and see some really, really good picks, right? So on the low holds page, what I noticed is there was a low hold between PrizePicks and FanDuel for Draymond over under 6.5 points. So FanDuel is one of the only sports books that offers these alternate markets, as you can see here on OddsJam, right? They'll let you bet on Draymond over 3.5 points, 4.5, 5.5, whatever. Other sportsbooks don't offer that, right? They just offer one prop market you can bet on. On Caesars, you can't bet on Draymond over 5.5 points, only 7.5, right? So FanDuel is very unique in that way. So what that means is they have to provide odds for these alternate point totals, and you can use these odds in a very similar way to back out win probabilities based on FanDuel's model, right? FanDuel's so much sharper than PrizePicks. This is an efficient betting market. It's not as sharp as Pinnacle, obviously, but here you can see for the over-under 7.5, FanDuel and Pinnacle are pretty much in line. Minus 106, minus 111, minus 116, minus 120. So basically, if Pinnacle offered, alternate point totals, they'd probably be roughly exactly what FanDuel is here. So, but they don't, which is why this pick isn't on the positive EV page, it's on the low holds page. But what we can do is, now that we found this discrepancy, we can use the odds on FanDuel and use a no-vig odds calculator. So they had the under priced at plus 130, I believe, and the over priced at minus 174 for Draymond. So let's go back. So many odds. Minus 174 plus 130. So that means the win probability for this pick, according to FanDuel's model, their alternate point totals, alternate player props, whatever it's called, the win probability for Draymond is 59.36%. So you'll notice the win probability for both of our picks on PrizePicks is 59.36%, roughly, right? Like 59%, which is a critical number because to be profitable on PrizePicks, you have to be winning props above a rate of 57.74% in a two-pick entry, right? Every two-pick entry just comes out to be plus 200 odds. So if you just, take the square root of this, you'll see that means you have to be winning each of your player props on PrizePicks 57.74% of the time. So two player props on PrizePicks, the EV, which we've gone through in other videos, 500 to win $1,000. We're winning this, 35.11% of the time. You just take the win probabilities for both of these picks. We got a Stanley Cup bet. We have an NBA player prop for tonight for the NBA Finals, Celtics Warriors. Two props, right? Avs Lightning, Celtics Warriors prop. So two props for the championship games. Pretty epic. 35% win probability. You just multiply these two uncorrelated player prop picks. And then we're staking 500 to win $1,000 in profit. So $27 in profit total, right? Or profit margin total, which means the edge of our player prop pick on PrizePicks is going to be 5.3%. So pretty cool stuff. Let's go ahead. Let's lock it in. And, I'm pretty happy with that. So next pick, locking in, is Stamkos under half of an assist, Draymond over 6.5 points. One is for tonight, one is for Wednesday when the Stanley Cup starts. We can go back to OddsJam, see if any new player prop showed up on PrizePicks. Doesn't look like it. So looks like we're just with Stamkos with our 2.32% profit margin, found on the OddsJam positive EV tool, the positive EV tool on OddsJam. So I hope you found this helpful. Lock it in, tail it, be all over this. What's better than having a pick for the Stanley Cup and a pick for the NBA Finals? Not much. So let's make some frickin' money.